Welcome to the Energy Waves for February 2023. If you're here with me live, Nicholas Haines, thank you so much. We're going to take some questions afterwards. If you're listening to this as a recording, thank you for being here as well. And do post any questions you have below this video. Now, we're in a year of the water rabbit. We're just starting that year. And it's a year to reunite, be brave, and make magic happen. And I think there are three main themes this month. And I'm going to look at those in the context of the beginning of this water rabbit year. So we're going to be doing two things at the same time, but bear with me. So the first of the three main themes is a burst of speed and a release of the rabbit. The second one is singing and dancing. And the third one, which I think is a bit of a rabbit trap, is perfection plans, fear, and procrastination. Now, if you're not familiar with my work around the Chinese zodiac, I will link a video above or below this video. It gives you a 4-minute overview. Now, let's look at the first of the three main themes, a burst of speed and releasing the rabbit. So you want to think about this as though it's kind of like greyhound racing. You suddenly release the rabbit and bang, everything suddenly goes. And that's what February is really about. It's this burst of speed, the releasing the rabbit. You see, because for the last 3 years, we've had a lot of energy that's about going inwards. It's about restriction. It's about things not happening. So it's almost like a pressure, a dam has built up. And in February, for the very first time in 3 years, we suddenly get that releasing. Now, whenever something has been blocked and then it releases, there's a sudden surge as it pushes forward. So this month of February and going into March, we have this massive surge of activity, almost like we've been held back, and now we're suddenly kind of going forth. Now, when I looked at the overall way to look at this water rabbit year, I gave a masterclass over 3 hours all about it. One of the things I was saying in it is that this is a year to go forth, have fun, multiply, but do it sustainably. And that's one of the things we need to kind of look at when we look at this burst of speed, this releasing of the rabbit. It needs to be underpinned by those guidelines. So it is a chance for you to go forth, to do things that you've been held back and haven't been able to do for ages. This is the month to really start to do that. But it's also remembering to have fun. This is the first year in a long, long time where we have an opportunity to have fun. Now, it doesn't mean you weren't having fun in other years, but this is a year, think how bouncy and excited rabbits are. And that's the energy we can tap into. It's also a year to multiply. That's kind of what rabbits do as well. So whatever you have as your dreams and your wishes, this is a great year that they will multiply. They will move forward. But there is this thing going on around sustainability. So within this burst of speed, release of the rabbit, we're dancing with the idea of resting at the same time. So going forth, having fun, multiply, resting, and that's in a way a bit of a difficulty this month, is that this sudden release of activity may cause us to go absolutely manically, but at the same time recognizing that we are tired. And that's the whole thing about this year, is we're playing with a duality of two things possibly existing at the same time, that we want to go forward and have fun, but at the same time we might want to rest and heal and recoup our energy, get that back. And that's what we're playing with this year, the whole of this year. And this month is about us playing with that. Okay, let's look at the singing and dancing. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, this month we get a chance to go forth with all that activity and sing our soul song, sing what matters to us, say out into the world, we want to do this. This is what I'm here to do. This is what my soul is singing. This is how I dance in the world. This is who I am. It's a chance for us to express who we are and sing our soul song. Now, when I looked again at the guidelines for the whole of this year, again, I'm underpinning February with this, is that in this water rabbit year, we're meant to be reuniting our actions and our heart with our soul's calling around what really matters to us. Now, we've had 3 years of working out what it is that we like and what it is that we don't like. And this month of February is a first chance for you to really express that and push that forward. So doing what makes you happy is a really important thing. Dancing in a way that makes you happy, putting it out there into the world. And also, this is the first year where it's about community. So it isn't about doing it by yourself, unless you want to. It's also about doing this with other people, engaging, going out there in the world, interacting, being social in the way that matters to you. And again, it's getting that duality this year of how can I be an individual and part of a collective? And at the same time, singing my soul song and being out there in the world, doing what I'm here to do. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, yeah, but I don't know what my soul song is, and I don't know what I'm here to do, and what is it? We're going to come to that. I've got some help for you around that. And that's a little bit of one of the rabbit traps. And we're going to look at that now as number 3, perfection plans, fears, and procrastination. Like I say, I think this is a bit of a rabbit trap, something to watch out for this month and realistically for the whole of this year. And that first of the rabbit trap is one around perfection. There will be a temptation to think, oh, I need to do this perfectly. I need to know exactly what it is that I'm meant to do, what exactly my purpose is, or exactly whatever I'm doing, it needs to be done really, really well. No, this year is just, this month particularly, is just get out there and do it and let the world tell you, do they like your song? Are they happy with it? Does it make, this is not around perfection. This is just about you going out there. Because the big danger with perfection is that it is exhausting and you don't get to go out there in the world. You don't have to have the perfect plan. You don't have to do something perfectly. You just have to have a go. And if you try and do the perfection game, you won't get out there and you will become exhausted. And when we are tired and exhausted, our fears surface. And your fears will stop you doing the things you're here to do. Because this is a time to be fearless. And I would even say that if what you're doing out in the world, if it doesn't have a bit of fear to it, then you're not playing a big enough game. This is the time to do that, to play that big game, because this is the time where we need you to be heroic, to deal with those fears, to go forward. Now, this year, the Water Rabbit year, is the equivalent of 1963, which was also a Water Rabbit year. And in 1963, people went out there and said, this is what we want. We have a dream. This is how we want the world to be. The Civil Rights Act, Civil Rights Movement, it was looking at how do we deal with this duality of two things existing? How do we challenge the way things are? And that's what we're doing in this moment in time. We're having a dream about having the world in a better way and having a world where two things, many things can exist together at the same time in harmony to resolve things. That's what we're here to do. And it is to do it for not just this year, but for the next whole generation. What they did in 63 changed for a generation. This is a chance to have another go. And this is a chance for you to be part of that. And it involves you being heroic. Now, if you think, oh my goodness, but I don't know what it is that I have to offer or to contribute. We have starting on the 21st of February, something called Energetic Superpowers and Heroic Actions. And it looks at, okay, this is identifying, this is actually what I'm really good at. And it says, this is what a heroic action might be for you. And that's there to help you at this particular time, because as I say, we need you out there in the world being heroic, changing things in the way, but it's specific to you. And there are certain heroic actions that are your soul's calling. So that's there for you to help you with that. Okay, so those are the three main themes: the burst of speed, singing and dancing, the perfection, that bit of a rabbit trap. Now, let's look at what I consider 3 action steps that I think you should follow this month, and they'll kind of make sense for you. And they're kind of balanced around this kind of duality that this year has to it. So the first one is take action, and then rest, and then take some action. What it is getting that balance right between those things. It's tricky this month because we get this sudden release of energy. So it will make you want to take lots of action. You'll see lots of people doing it, but it's also resting and taking action, getting that balance right. Within that context, it's about really having boundaries, putting boundaries in place for you to be able to take rest, take action, rest, and take more action. It's also making sure that whatever you're doing, you're not wasting time on doing stuff that doesn't matter to you. You're doing stuff that makes your heart sing, makes the world a better place. And you're doing it all within a context of balance, keeping that balance right. The second action step I think you need to do is keep going high. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the higher you are, the bigger the perspective you're able to see. There is a temptation in this busy time to get down in the mud and just get doing, but you need to keep going high to say, is what I'm doing important? Does it actually matter? Keep a perspective on things. Am I tiring myself? Have I got enough energy? So keep going high to get the picture, the big picture as to what's going on. That's what's really important. And we've got a real benefit this whole of this year. We're in a water energy year, and water energy is about reflection. So go high, reflect, think about things. Don't just do, keep going high to check that you are on the right path. And the third thing is something around taking power and giving power. And an example of taking back your power would be to have healthy boundaries. You're not going to give power to someone else. You're going to take power back yourself by having boundaries. And we've just come out of a water tiger year. And when I explored that, one of the things I said we need to do was to choose who has authority in your life. And that was to say, who's controlling my life? And it was to explore, am I giving my power to the media, to conversation, to things that don't matter? And this is, again, another chance to say, I'm going to take back my power and I'm going to give power to things that fundamentally matter to me. And are you going to, and it's much, much easier this year. So there's lots of arguments that were going on, black and white arguments that were going on, that were taking your power because it was just a conflict. And this is a chance to say, actually, you know what? I don't need to argue about that anymore. We can almost see through the previous conflict and see that it wasn't real, and we can take back our power. And we can give power to things that matter, things that make us happy, things that make the difference in the world. We can also give power to other people and say, you know what, I think you're doing a really good job. This is not a time to knock anyone down, but to cheer other people on that are being heroic and saying and doing the stuff that matters to them. Because again, this is a time where we need to have heroic actions and decide how the world will be for future generations. And that could just be you say, I want the world to be kinder, more loving, more understanding, or whatever it is. And you have your own version of how you want to be heroic. And like I say, we have programs and stuff to help you. So these are the three main themes: this burst of speed. Don't get trapped by that. Get carried away. It's about you being out in the world and singing and dancing and doing it sustainably. And then just don't fall into the rabbit trap of it has to be perfect, the perfect plan. I'm fearful, or just start procrastinating. Get out there, just have a go. And obviously, I've given you the action steps, and it's all about taking balance and stuff that's going on. So I hope you have found that helpful. If you have, like, share, comment, do whatever. Appreciate you. Okay, thanks very much. And for everyone's here with me live, let us now take some questions. Okay, thanks very much.